Welcome back to the Portal Report Head Coach Showcase Series. I'm your host, George Michalowski, here with the Portal Report, bringing on a very special guest today, Lipscomb Head Coach Lennie Acuff. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, George. Thank you for having us. Look forward to talking a little basketball.
Of course, man. So obviously we're in the depths of summer right now. You're coming off a 20-13 year, 11-7 in ASUN play, 11-7 in ASUN play last year. Reflecting back, you've had some time to look back at last season. Obviously everything's geared toward next year, but looking back, what was this year like? How important was this past season for your program?
Well, I think that, I've been here 4 years / we've been here 4 years as a staff. And our first year, we were in the championship game. We lost at Liberty. And then then COVID hit. That was on a Sunday. Then Wednesday, the world shut down. And so the last 2 years had just kind of been really dysfunctional. And honestly, it kind of hit us pretty hard. But it was just good to kind of have some normalcy. I do think that I was proud of our team in every way. I thought we had an upward trajectory all year. We were playing our best basketball at the end of the year, which you always want to do. And I think for us, it was just at this level, what I'm learning is you have to be able to navigate the non-conference schedule because you have several bye games, and just try to keep your head above water till you get to Christmas and try to play your best at Christmas. I think, we got to the conference semifinals. We won 20 games, and we're in a great game with Kennesaw in the semifinals, and they made a few more plays than we did. But I think the thing that for us and reflecting is our league, our first year here was 32nd in the net. Last year was 17th. I mean, it's one of the most improved leagues in the country. And I think we just continue to add really good teams. That makes it challenging. So what's our niche in the league? What can make us a little bit different and maybe separate us? So that's what our off season's been about.
Awesome, man. So looking ahead to that schedule for this upcoming season, for that non-conference schedule, what are you most excited about? What do you guys make it a point of emphasis to do with this schedule?
I don't know how much I'm excited about. I know there'll be some great challenges for us. We're going to go to Wichita State. We're going to go to Florida State. We're going to go to Arkansas. We're going to go to Central Florida, and maybe one more. And then we play Belmont every year. We're in an MTE in Canada with some really good teams. It looks like we're going to play Western Kentucky, Asheville, and Dartmouth up there. And so it's just Chattanooga's coming here. It's a really challenging schedule. But, the biggest thing that you try to do with your non-conference schedule is get your team ready to play in January. I mean, at this level, it's all about January, February, and really at the end of the day, mostly that first weekend in March. Can you be your very best then? And I think to do that, you need some maturity because there's going to be a lot of struggles. There's going to be nights it's going to be really tough playing those places. But can you keep your team in the right mind space? Can we keep our target zone at the same place? And so we're working on it. And I do know we'll be challenged. That's for sure.
Of course. So I want to get into some of the guys that you guys brought in for this year's team, starting with the transfers. You guys did bring in some freshmen I'm seeing on the roster, but these transfers, man, you guys have a solid transfer class coming in. You've recruited transfers well in the past. I want to start with the man in the middle, man, Owen McCormack, coming from Presbyterian, 6'9", 230, sounds like a monster, 7 points per game last season. What is Owen going to bring to your program, and how did that recruitment play out?
Well, it's interesting. I know this is the big focus is the portal. And I think we have done well in the portal for the last 3 years, but our niche has really been not necessarily high profile guys. We've had a D2 kid that was really, really good for us the first year. We had two of our best players last year were Derrin Boyd was an NAIA transfer from Georgetown, Kentucky, and Matt Snare, who's a transfer from Emory. And a D3 kid that played huge roles for us. And so, we didn't go out and get a guy that averaged 20 a game and another mid-major, but I do think the two guys we brought in are really going to help us. They've been great fits this summer. Really excited about Owen. He's made a lot of progress just in the 8 weeks he's been here. He gives us a pick and pop five. Our five-man the last 4 years has been Hassan Asajala, who is a great, great player. But Hassan was strictly low post. Great passer from anywhere on the floor, but, he didn't pick and pop and shoot threes. And we're going to miss him every single day. But it is going to be interesting to see what our offense looks like with a big that can pick and pop and make threes. And he passes equally well. And So he's been, and not only has he been a good player, he's just the thing that we're finding. I think a lot of teams our level are finding. It's really nice to bring in somebody with a lot of experience. I mean, he started 3 years at Presbyterian, and so not a lot that he's going to see here this year he hasn't been through. And he's really a high character kid. He's really been a connector, and I think he's somebody that we're really going to rely on, and he's really made an impact with our culture already. So we're very excited about him.
It's great to hear. You guys also bring in Joe Anderson from Furman, 6-foot guard. Didn't have too many statistics there at Furman, but again, another guy with several years of college basketball experience under his belt.
Yeah, George, he didn't play very much last year. You know, they were extremely talented, had a great team, and we're very familiar with them. Our systems are very similar. But his first 2 years, he did play a lot, and he was a big part of what they were doing. And so we're excited about, you know, we would like to try to move Will Pruitt a little bit off the ball. Will's been our point guard the last 2 years, and Will can play the point, but we're looking to maybe try to get him a little help with the ball handling, decision making, and take some of the pressure off him. And Joe's been equally effective as Owen has been, and just integrating himself into our team. You know, he comes from a highly competitive program, so he understands the importance of every day showing up and, you know, being ready to get after it. He's really been another really pleasant surprise for us. So I think both those guys, you know, a lot of people say, what's your X factor? I think we're like a lot of teams. Those transfers need to do well for you. And so they've both got off to good starts. Let's see what shows up in November, December.
Yes, sir. So you mentioned earlier a little bit earlier about Derrin Boyd, how he came from NAIA level from Georgetown College. You know, when you're recruiting a guy like that who came up to Lipscomb and starts 28 games, so he scores over 10 points a game. When you're recruiting a kid like that at the NAIA level, how are you, you know, what did you see, I guess, in his game that said to you and your staff, like, hey, this will translate to our level?
Yeah, you know, one thing that really, I think I've got a lot of intel there because I coached at the Division II and NAIA level for 29 years. So I always felt like our really good players in Division II, and I think you're seeing it across the country, a really good Division II player, a really good NAIA player can play Division I basketball. Now, can they come in and be as effective as he's been? You know, that doesn't happen all the time, but we thought he was really, really talented. With a really good ceiling. We thought he just kind of was starting to hit his stride, and he did that. He played really, really well for us, and kind of happened the year before too. You know, I mean, our best player last year was Jacob Obnakovich, and he was a transfer from Valpo 2 years ago. And his first year, everything didn't fall into place. But boy, last year, I mean, he's first team all conference player, and a kid that, you know, everything's about fit. Everything's about going to the right place with the right system, and Darian and Jacob have done that. And so, yeah, sometimes you don't get the most high profile guys, but that doesn't mean there aren't guys that can come in and really help you win games.
Another guy that you guys brought in, I guess, from the portal in the past, a guy that you were definitely familiar with his Huntsville ties, AJ McGinnis, coming in from Cincinnati. Last year, he comes in more than 20 minutes per game for you guys, 38% shooter from 3-point range. What are you expecting from AJ this season?
Well, we've really challenged AJ. AJ really had some good moments for us last year. He had some huge games for us and made some big, big shots and some of our biggest wins. What we'd love for him to take the next step. You know, I think it's really hard sometimes when there's a little inconsistency. Sometimes guys that live on the margins can be hard to know what you're getting on a 90 basis. So he really is probably our X factor because he's very talented. Can score the ball different ways. And toward the end of the year last year, he moved into the starting lineup and he started really playing well from there. So, yeah, he's another guy that we need to come through for us.
Well, Coach, we're going to wrap it up here shortly. I want to give you the floor, though. What do you have to say to the Lipscomb fans? You know, why should they be excited about this season overall?
Well, I think we've had growth in our program. You know, this will be the first year since we've been here. Everybody on our team is guys that we recruited. And I'm really thankful for all the guys that the first 4 years that bought into what we're doing, even if they, weren't recruited by our staff. But, you win 20 games, you've got 4 starters back. I think that's a good jumping on point. But the way college basketball is now, because of what you emphasized, the portal, it's really not so much about who you bring back, but who everybody else brings in. And so, that you can't get ahead of yourself. I just think for us as every single night, and I know this is coach speak, but it's so true, is we just got to show up and know that, being in a really competitive league, playing a very difficult non-conference schedule, it's just, we want to be our best at the end of the year. And we're looking forward to the challenge and excited to get the fall started.
Well, Coach, we'll have our eye on you all year long here at the Portal Report. Best of luck to you. Congratulations on a successful offseason from our point of view. And good luck when you guys get back to campus. Good luck with everything this season.
Hey, thanks, George. Hope you have a great day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.